Good morning, everyone. Must be Monday morning. Yay! um, yeah, I'm looking a little ragged around the edges. I may have indulged in a little bit of wine last night with my mother-in-law. Yay! I haven't indulged in a little bit of wine in pretty much a year or so. Anyway, good morning. I hope everybody's having a great time. It's gorgeous out there right now. It's sunny, it's warm, it's not raining, knock on wood. I'm hoping this trend continues, although I know we're due for some more rain tomorrow. I got to get out and mow the lawn before we uh, get more rain. So, today's title was So You Want to Be a Writer. And I was kind of thinking it was going through my head like in Frozen, So You Want to Build a Snowman? So You Want to Be a Writer? And yeah, so what do you do if you want to be a writer? First, you get yourself some of this coffee or tea. I can go either way, but a caffeinated beverage. It's a requirement we run on this. Um, Seriously, though, the most important thing is to have yourself and to trust in yourself. And man, I tell you, that is the hardest part. I take these ideas in my head and I write them down, sometimes on paper, sometimes on a screen, sometimes on a keyboard, and I have to try and make them unique, and I have to try and make them interesting, not just to me, but to like you guys. It because I'm not writing for me. I'm writing for um, other people. Excuse me. We're having some technical difficulties. Isn't that wonderful? That's okay. We're going to take care of it. I'll deal with it later. So, for me, one of the most important thing is to actually make time for writing. And you'll hear people say that a lot, and it's kind of trite. Oh, yeah, just make some time, in between the laundry and the dishes and the visiting in laws and the making dinner and Harold running the children back and forth and making sure Boy Scout stuff is done and homework is turned in and. But yeah, you have to make the time. It's easier for someone like myself, where this is my job and this is what I spend several hours a day doing. Um, it's not as easy when you're trying to jam it in between the thing that you're doing for the money to support your writing. Because let me tell you, folks, if you're getting into writing for the money, run, don't walk away, because you're not going to make it. Um, there are very few J.K. Rowlings and George R.R. Martins in the world, and the likelihood that you are one is small. If you're writing because you feel you like the story has to come out, great. That's where you should be. And that's frankly where Rowling and Martin were. They didn't do it to make the money. If you're doing it to make the money, become a titration technician. They're really short on those right now. It's not difficult training. It's finicky work, but it's worthwhile and you help a lot of people. Pays well, great hours. If you want to write, it's got to come from in here. Writing is something that you have to do in order to be able to live with yourself and function. And that's where I'm at. I have periods where I don't have to write. I can go whole weekends. Heck, I can go a whole week when it's right before an event and I'm doing a lot of sewing and stuff, and I'm not doing any writing at all. And I'm cool with that. It rarely goes more than a week or so, though, because at the end of that week, I gotta get this stuff out that I've been thinking about for the last week, and I have to put it down on paper somewhere. It's not easy. So, you want to be a writer, you have to improve yourself. You do not have to go to an accredited university and take a language arts course or get a degree that will cost you thousands of dollars that frankly, let's just be bluntly honest, will never be paid back by your writing. Okay? The likelihood of you earning enough money to pay back your English degree doing English stuffs is nil. It's minuscule. In all likelihood, people who have an English degree, a small selected few who are beyond awesome, will write novels and make enough money to support themselves. Another small group of people will have spouses who are wonderful and work really hard so that we can write and spend their money on our books. The rest of you, and where I used to be before I came to be with my husband, will be working at McDonald's or secondhand stores or ad agencies. You'll be working someplace that's not fun in order to support your passion. Come to terms with that now, because it's the God's honest truth, and it's just where it is. In all likelihood, you will do other things to support your writing habit, and that's okay. You are no less of a writer because you work during the day at the lab and logger and then come home at night to write, or work at night at the lab and logger and come home in the morning to write, because when you work at a bar, you work in the evenings. But that degree isn't as important, especially in today's world when we have self-publishing, we have vanity press, we have print on demand, POD, through Amazon and other places. Having a piece of paper that says you can has write good English really doesn't mean as much as it used to, because the people who are churning out of these paper mills probably don't write as well as you do. I hate saying that, but the average college grad can't write their way out of a wet paper bag. And it's sad and it's true and it's just the way it is. So, what do? Well, you have to educate yourself. I am a high school dropout. I'm only missing one credit in whatever I wanted. Underwater basket weaving, could have been anything. I finished all of my core courses, and then I was out on my own. And I didn't have the ability to go to school. I tried to go to school full time and work full time to support myself, but I decided that eating was more important than education. And so I never graduated from high school. That does not mean that I stopped educating myself. For a long time, I took little courses at the university that were open to whoever, $50 here or $100 there. I took electrical engineering course. I took a course in conversational French. I took a course in learning how to plot out a historical fiction novel. Whatever came up, because keeping my brain learning was more important than any paperwork that I could have gotten. That was back before the days of the internet, though. We have at our disposal 90% of the classes that are offered by Harvard available online for free. We can go on to website. We can go on to edX.com. We can go on to I'm trying to think of what the one in England is called. There's another English, British one. You can go online and take courses. And as long as you don't want a piece of paper at the end that says, yes, I graduated with this mark, it costs you nothing but your time. There are courses right now on edX that are on creative writing, on writing for textbooks and things like that, how to edit, how to plot a novel. I haven't checked in the past week or two, so there might even be more than that. But there are also courses on Shakespearean plays and how to appreciate art and music. These things are a part of the writing process. And you can also go and take classes on grammar, learning how to write a proper sentence or speak a proper sentence. As a writer, as an author, that's really important. And having looked at what's available on print on demand on Amazon lately, that's being lost on a few of you. So I say this with all love and joy. Go out and educate yourselves. There's a plethora of courses available that will cost you not a dime. You go out, you learn about your craft. Okay. I write technical stuff. I edit for my hubby. I know how to do a white paper for the government, for heaven's sakes. I know how to write a grant. I can do all these things because I took the time to study and learn and improve myself. You can do that too. Even if you're only doing it in, a 1 hour block every week or 1 hour every second week, it doesn't matter how fast you get there. What matters is that you're moving. So go out, improve yourself. The other way that you improve yourself is by writing. Literally go out and practice your craft. People who do machining improve their craft by machining things. People who make ball bearings improve themselves by making ball bearings. People who do surgery improve themselves by doing more surgery. And you can become a better writer by writing and editing and rewriting and editing. Did I mention editing? Going out and doing that which makes your heart sing is so important and so necessary. You have to put your mind into it. You have to put your brain into it. You have to set yourself goals that are reasonable, but you have to keep moving and improving. And that goes forever. The things that I wrote when I was 19 were terrible. I look at that writing today and think, oh my God, why would anybody have ever read it? And the answer is that nobody ever did read it except me. So it's probably a good thing, and I'm good with that. Today, my command of the English language, my vocabulary, my ability to express myself, my ability to speak publicly and do something like this video, for instance, has become better. I have improved my ability to speak. I went to Toastmasters for a couple of years, which was awesome, and I recommend it to everybody, by the way. If you want to learn how to public speak and how to stand in front of a group of people and not freak out, go to Toastmasters. It's kind of a throw yourself in the deep end and see if you float sort of thing. But wow, it works, I have to tell you. And you will learn how to comport yourself in front of people who are your equals and your betters, as well as in front of people who can learn from you. And sometimes those are the same people, by the way, frequently. Don't think that you know everything. If you want to be a writer, I guarantee you, you don't know everything. I have a sci-fi piece that I'm working on in the background with my hubby. Why with him? Because he has the technical knowledge. I write stuff and I write awesome stories. My stories are fun. Everybody tells me they're very readable. You can relate to the characters. You get along with the storyline. I can suspend people's disbelief, which is all wonderful. Except if I'm writing for somebody who's into sci-fi and they reach the technical portion of the novel and I start talking about the guts of my space machine and I'm making up terminology and it kicks somebody out of the little movie that plays in their brain because it doesn't make any sense. So that's why he's a part of this project, because he has the knowledge to at least write good fakery and to help me to write things that are technically correct for as far as we understand it. And wow, what a difference. When I want to write about how somebody died, I go and I look that up. I watch it. It can be disturbing, but it's also very educational. And I learn about it so that I do a better job of writing about it. If I don't understand it, how can I put into words for you the reader what I'm seeing? There has to be an ability to translate. And that's the last thing I suggest is learn how to translate things from whatever technical speak to people speak. How you write in a novel or a short story or a poem is not the same way that people write, for instance, for a newspaper or a scientific journal or a medical journal. And so there are times when my hubby does IT work and database construction and things like that. So he'll be doing all of this really technical stuff that I really don't understand. And he's trying to explain it to somebody who has the same level of technical knowledge as I do. So he explains it to me, and then I help him translate it into English that normal people can understand because he's been programming since he was 12, which is a really long time. He thinks in that technical language, but most people don't. And so my ability to take the technical and learn from him and then turn that into something that other people can understand who don't necessarily have that level of technical knowledge is a useful skill. And that has turned out to be a fantastic tool for me as an author because as I want to be a writer, I'm learning how to take one set of words and turn it into something else that's more readable. And that's a wonderful skill. So go out, help a friend, help somebody translate a menu at a Chinese place into English. Get them to describe what it is that they're having and then put it into adequate English. That's helping them and it's helping you. Go out and read a comic book in another language and see how the translations are done. Um, Help somebody who's a math person translate something into English for those of us who are not math oriented. These things help you hone your skills and get better at writing, which is the craft that you've chosen. And learn to enjoy that. Take pleasure in what you have and what you can do. Because I guarantee you, as much as you may look at some of your finished products and go, oh, that's horrible. I don't want anybody to see it. Other people are going to want to see it. And that's okay. We are always our own harshest critic, or should be, in my opinion. So, as harshly as we judge our own writing, other people are not looking at it from the same set of eyes. And that's okay. It's as it should be. We should be perfecting our work until it is ready to go out into the world. And it will never be perfect. Okay. Don't get that in your mind. Nothing is ever perfect. But improvements are always a good thing. The hardest part, I think, is reaching that point where you're as perfect as you're going to get and realizing that it is now time to hit the publish button and let the rest of the world read your work. It's absolutely terrifying. I'm still working on editing and rewriting in Bloodwater because I'm not yet ready to admit that I can't make further improvements in the writing. But soon it will go out to the professional editor and then it'll come back to me and I'll do even more work. And then it will go out to publication. And you guys will get to see, first off, the new book. Second off, really awesome characters because there's some new ones in there. And third, the really fantastic cover that's being designed by Starla by Design. Starla, I believe it's pronounced Huckton. I hope I got that right. She's incredible. Her book covers with the new book cover has a picture of Alexandra on the front doing some arcane stuff on the ground. And it's so exciting. It was hard putting a face to Alexandra because I've always kind of thought of her as myself, but she's not anymore. Um, she's been kind of released into the universe, and that's a good thing. So it's time to let my baby fly on her own. All right. You guys go out there and have an awesome week, okay? Do great. Go improve yourselves and learn something new and tell me about it in the comments, okay? I want to hear. Come share with me what you're doing, what you're writing. Not details, because, Keep your ideas to yourselves. But in general, are you writing something this week? Are you working on poetry? Are you working on fiction? Come and share with me. I want to hear and I want to have a conversation. So come and talk to me. You guys have yourselves a great week, and I look forward to seeing you next Monday.